I'm Deb Rankin, here to talk with you about growing your own vegetables in a Green Veggie Harvest Part 2. Now, there are many benefits from gardening and growing your own vegetables. Studies show that people who garden have less anxiety, less depression, a lower body mass index, which is an indicator of obesity, and a greater sense of life satisfaction overall. While you may think gardening is good, perhaps some of you are sitting there listening to this going, is she crazy? I can hardly keep up with my job and my family and my house and this and that. How am I supposed to grow my own vegetables? Consider different alternatives. You might find it easier than you think. I remember the time when I lived in Washington, D.C., and I told my brother there was no way I could have a garden. I lived in the city. I had a small townhouse. There was no useful land. He said to me, I bet there's a community garden in your town. And there was, and I got a plot. And even though I worked a very busy, stressful job, managing a team of 6 to 10 people, traveling over a 4-state area, that garden was a way for me to relax and unwind at the end of a long work day. It was a great source of stress relief. A few weeks ago, I made a video where I showed how I planted kale seeds. 3 weeks ago, they'd grown big enough that I could transplant them to these plastic containers, and soon, couple weeks, we hope it will be warm enough in Colorado to actually plant them outside in the garden. Think about what you can do. If you have children, get them involved. Here's an interview with 3 young gardeners whom I happen to know very well. Hello, young gardener. What do you like about growing vegetables?
I like growing vegetables because it gives you something to do for if you're bored, and you can just go out there and pick them, and they're really fun to eat, and they can make good foods, and yeah.
And how about you?
I like growing vegetables because they're yummy and they make really good foods, and yeah.
And what does our third sister gardener have to say?
I like growing vegetables because kale is all vegetables.
Author, poet, wise man, Kentucky farmer Wendell Berry wrote in his essay, The Pleasures of Eating, people who know the garden in which their vegetables have grown and know that the garden is healthy will remember the beauty of the growing plants, perhaps in the dewy first light of morning when gardens are at their best. Such a memory involves itself with the food and is one of the pleasures of eating. Vow right now to grab hold of the pleasure of eating green vegetables, whether it be through growing your own, frequenting the farmer's market in your neighborhood, signing up for community-supported agricultural subscription and getting boxes of vegetables delivered to you, or just making sure you always keep a bag or a box of greens on hand. You can do it. Grab hold of that nutrition and the power of green leafy vegetables.